First, let's talk about what cyber warfare is. According to the Oxford Languages Dictionary, cyber warfare is the use of computer technology to disrupt the activities of a state or organization, especially the deliberate attacking of information systems for strategic or military purposes. When most of us think of conflict, we tend to think of more traditional forms of warfare that use land forces like tanks or infantry, or of air power that uses helicopters, jets, drones, and bombers. We might also think of naval warfare, using ships and submarines. But because cyber warfare is a relatively new form of warfare, and perhaps because its use tends to be more secretive than other forms of warfare, it gets much less attention. Yet cyber war is an increasingly important part of competition between countries, and its ability to do damage is massive. So, just how bad could a cyber war be? Well, a cyber attack can kill power grids and shut down electricity in a country or city. That alone would result in huge costs because most businesses need electricity to run. But think of everything else electricity is needed for, from running hospitals to cooking, for those with electric stoves, for example, to heating for those with heat pumps, to air conditioning, to running basically every electronic or appliance in your home, and to running even some transportation, like trains. All modern countries could barely function without electricity. Cyber attacks allow countries to do damage to other countries that in the past would have required a years-long sustained bombing campaign. So which countries have the greatest cyber capabilities? A report from the International Institute for Strategic Studies, or IISS for short, puts them into 3 tiers based on capability, with Tier 1 being the most capable and Tier 3 being the least capable. Tier 1 has the United States. Tier 2 has Australia, China, Canada, France, Israel, Russia, and the United Kingdom. Tier 3 has India, Indonesia, Iran, Japan, Malaysia, North Korea, and Vietnam. Instead of covering all the countries named, I'll touch on the most prominent ones. Let's begin with the US. The US has the most powerful cyber capabilities of any country. It helps that the US created the internet and many other digital technologies, and so it got a head start in developing its cyber capabilities. In the 1990s, the US set the strategic goal of dominance in cyberspace, and that goal has been helped along by the fact that the US consistently produces many of the world's best tech companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and much more. Cooperation between these companies and many universities allows the U.S. government to develop the most advanced cyber weapons and tools. The U.S. conducts most of its cyber operations through 2 organizations, the NSA and U.S. Cyber Command, but the CIA and other U.S. agencies also conduct cyber operations. More than any other major country, the U.S. benefits from having capable allies who it can work with on cyber operations, especially other members of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which includes Canada, the UK, New Zealand, and Australia. One of the US's most famous cyber operations was Stuxnet, which was a computer virus developed in conjunction with Israelis that was used to target the Iranian nuclear program, and it was successful in setting it back several years, according to some estimates. Next, let's take a quick look at China. China is second to the US in terms of cyber capabilities. It has a huge army of hackers. China's most famous activity in cyberspace is cyber espionage, and Chinese government-backed hackers are accused of hacking everything from companies to US government departments. China's most famous espionage activities are by far corporate and defense espionage. China has stolen an immense amount of intellectual property from US companies worth hundreds of billions of dollars. On to Russia. Russia is one of the most active nations in cyberspace. Russia regularly carries out disinformation campaigns to promote propaganda on Western and other social media. Russia has carried out some shocking cyber operations, like shutting off Ukraine's power grid in 2014, or the 2007 hack that shut down the websites of many Estonian government agencies. Russia also seems to be behind many ransomware hacks, in which hackers hold a business's digital services hostage for money. Let's touch on the UK. The UK might have the best cyber capabilities in Western Europe. or in Europe, period. The UK conducts espionage primarily through the agency GCHQ, which is short for Government Communications Headquarters, and it's world-renowned for its cyber capabilities. Now on to Israel. Israel is a small country with less than 10 million people, but it punches far above its weight in numbers in the cyber field. Israel's Unit 8200, its equivalent of the US's NSA, is globally recognized for its capabilities, and is regularly involved in cyber exchanges with countries like Iran. The Israeli private sector also stands out for producing some of the best cyber tech in the world. Finally, let's discuss North Korea. North Korea is a third-rate cyber power, but it still has some serious capabilities. North Korea engages in industrial espionage. It also targets industries like aerospace in hopes of stealing technologies to beef up its own armed forces. It also uses cyber operations to steal money for state revenue. But the most famous hack conducted by the North Koreans to date was the hacking of SONY for producing a film they did not like. The film, called The Interview, which satirized the current North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Well, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, follow on social media. Take care.